Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Todd and I just got back from a 2-week trip to Cartagena and Medellin, Colombia. Now I watched just about every video I could find on YouTube leading up to the trip, and what I thought was missing was a first-hand account of the traveling aspect, so that's where I'm going to start. Hopefully you will like this video and click to like and click to subscribe, and if you do, that will motivate me to make a couple follow-up videos of like in-depth account of where to go and what to see and tours and things like that that you can do while visiting this beautiful country called Colombia. I would like to start by saying that I am not a professional. I am not a professional traveler, blogger, or speaker for that matter. I will likely stumble a bit for that. I do apologize in advance. I do talk on the phone quite a bit for my day job in sales, but there's likely going to be plenty of ums and likes and dead spots. And, this is not scripted except for this first portion, just to make sure that I get some particulars straight. So bear with me. I will be telling you this. My experience is right off the top of my head. Now, this is about the fourth take, so I should be able to hit the highs and lows pretty good. I'll remember those. Now, before I begin, a couple of points I think are most important if you are traveling to Colombia or South America in general in the near future. It would be extremely beneficial to learn some basic Espanol. You might think, like I did, that since there is a lot of tourism and Colombia is quickly becoming a real hotspot for travel, that at least some of the people would speak English, right? Nope. I was shocked at how little English was spoken. I'd say that a lot was understood, but definitely not spoken. Purchasing a translator would be very beneficial. Google Translate does work, but sometimes the typing and it can get very tedious and time consuming, and it's just kind of something better that you can talk into, say what you want, and it goes fast. And not a cheap one like I did either. They do have internet and Wi-Fi down in Colombia, but it's not great everywhere, not as fast as you'd like it to be. So I had a cheapie and didn't work out that great. So the better the translator, the better communication there will be. Now, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask me about the trip or about Colombia and don't want to wait or can't wait for me to drop the next videos, feel free to email me. My email address is tkoyak@gmail.com. Again, that's tkoyak@gmail.com. All right, heading off script. We're a group of 4 guys living in Illinois, so we flew out of O'Hare. Now, if you go to Colombia, you have to go through either Miami or Panama City, Panama. Now, Miami, they speak English there, so it's just going to be a little bit easier on the travel to go through there. I do know some basic Spanish, but maybe not enough to quickly get through an airport. So we flew a very early morning flight, 7 a.m. out of O'Hare to Miami. Now, we thought that we were in the clear because we had an hour and 15-minute layover. Well, where we got off the plane was about a 45-minute walk to the international terminal. It was shocking how long it was, because right when I got off the plane, I saw like where my gate was. You see the sign 33, 34, or whatever it is, and you just keep walking and going through tunnels and keep walking, and man, it was crazy. So we dressed, like it was 15 degrees in Chicago. So you might want to keep that in mind if you have like a short layover. It is a long walk. Maybe pack a bag in your bag, maybe some shorts or something like that, because when you land in Colombia, depending on what city, it might be hot. I was able to change my shirt and stuff my coat into my backpack, but that was about it. Also, they were already boarding by the time I got to the gate, so I didn't get a chance to have anything to eat. It would have been nice to grab a couple of bottles of water. So just know that if you have about an hour and 15-minute layover or less, you're going to be really hoofing it to get to your gate, and you're probably not going to have a whole lot of time to do anything else. Now, the flight from Miami to Cartagena, we flew into Cartagena in late February. We ended up being in Cartagena for 5 days, and then we did a domestic flight to Medellin. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So the flight from Miami to Cartagena was great. I mean, it didn't seem like there was a cloud in the sky, didn't see any other planes. I don't know if there's just not that many routes that go there, but it was a really smooth flight, and we got there pretty quick. Now, when you get to Cartagena, you get the nice experience of deboarding the plane on the tarmac, which we don't, do that too often in America, or in the U.S., I should say. I was told that a few times. I kept saying that I'm American, and everyone in Colombia would say, well, we're American too. Difference between South America and North America. I guess you just, something that you overlook. Probably, us, United States, thinking that we, rule the world and all that. Anyway, so a very unique thing is that not only did they deboard the plane front and back onto the tarmac, kind of cool, but not cool, super hot in Cartagena. I mean, it's tropical island hot. So beware. That would have been, really nice to have a bottle of water, when it was so hot there. Well, you get off the plane and you get shuffled into an outdoor hallway. Now, we kind of think that this is customs because we really don't know what's going on, but everybody's just in a long line. Well, what ends up happening is we're outside in this line for about 40 minutes while there's a couple of airport employees going through, checking for VAX cards and making sure that you have your papers in order and that kind of thing. Well, basically what it is, it's a line for foreigners and a line for Colombia residents. Well, you could get in the line, in that first line for like Colombian residents, and then slide into the foreigners line once you get inside. Well, it was hot, and we're in this line for 40 minutes. They're letting about 10 people in at a time, and we're thinking, oh, well, as long as we get through this line, it'll be good. We get in there, it'll be a couple minutes. Well, not so. We get through that line. I get in with my group of 10 or whatever. We get into the next room, which, thank goodness, is air conditioned, so it's not too bad, but the line is about 200 people long. It looks like a security line. So, it was probably another hour in that line. Now, if you're traveling with other people or you got a good group around you and you can talk and pass the time, that will really help you. But it was a good hour in that line, maybe a little bit more. But basically, you're all just in line to present your papers and your passport. They ask you where what hotel you're staying at. We had an Airbnb, so I just pulled up the address and showed them a screenshot of it. It was really easy. Got through quick. And by the time that you get through there, all the baggage is already lined up for you. And then you just head right on outside after you put everything through some kind of an x-ray machine. I don't know if they're checking to see if you're trying to bring in probably illegal stuff. We didn't, so we went right through, bunch of taxis and all that stuff. But again, very hot in Cartagena. It was like, feel it in your bones kind of hot. And it was a bit shocking right off the bat, but I think that, we stayed in El Centro, which is the historical district, the walled city. It was probably about a 10 or 15, at the most 15-minute shuttle from the airport. I think it's like, I don't know, between $2 and $5 Uber if you don't have a shuttle lined up through your hotel or Airbnb. But it was pretty solid. Not too bad getting through there, like I said, and not a ton of traffic getting to the Airbnb. But like I said, very hot, and I'll get into our experience in Cartagena when in another video. So zoom ahead 5 days, get on to March 1st, and we are going to take a domestic flight from Cartagena to Medellin. So we get to, we went to the airport 2 hour and a half ahead of time, I think. I would go with 2 hours. Unless you are fluent in Espanol and you really know your way around the airports there, you could probably get it taken care of in maybe an hour and a half, but we really didn't know where we were going. By the time we got to where we, where we were supposed to be, it was about 11:25, and our flight is supposed to take off at 12:06. Well, the people behind us, they were fluent. They were, I think that they, resided in Medellin. Well, they were on the same flight. So I'm like, well, I mean, they're not going to leave them behind. So then all of a sudden, a guy came through and was asking if anybody was on that flight. We said we were. They moved us to the front of the line. So it was really good. One other thing to mention is if you do buy a domestic flight, make sure you check whether or not baggage is included. We assumed it was. It wasn't. And so we got lucky to get on the flight to Medellin, I believe. So just, dot the I's, cross the T's, that kind of stuff. Check every detail. Don't assume anything. That's the biggest thing. Now, the flight from Cartagena to Medellin was awesome. I mean, you're in the air for about, 30 minutes before you start on the descent, and the landscape, the viewing going into Medellin is incredible. If I had an aisle seat because I'm 6'3", so I really need the extra leg room, but I would probably take a shot at a window seat next time because it just looked awesome, and I wish I could have taken more pictures. The person that was in my row in the aisle seat, I didn't even know them, but I asked them, they took a couple pictures for me, so that was nice of them. And then when you get to Medellin, you get off the plane, and I don't know if you know, but their nickname is like Eternal Springtime, and you get off the plane, it's like San Diego, 78 degrees, nice breeze, beautiful weather, way different from Cartagena. Cartagena is hot. So then just from the airport, the Medellin airport is huge. So, I mean, it's pretty modern and things like that. So, everything was pretty much kind of like just going to a regular airport. Just had baggage claim and grab your bag, and everything was good. And since, it's a domestic flight, didn't have to worry about customs or anything like that. So it was very smooth. Took a car ride like 20 minutes down the mountain to our Airbnb, and, real good. Again, we'll get into the what we did in Medellin and tours and things like that. Incredible country. But fast forward 6 days, and we're flying back. Well, we were told, get to the airport 4 hours in advance for an international flight. So our flight's at 4. Our flight was at 4:30, I think, and we got picked up at our Airbnb at noon. 4 hours is nuts. 3 max. I mean, I think 2 is fine. I mean, if you're going American Airlines from Medellin back to the United States, there's a line for Verifly, which is something that we have to do with Verifly. Is an app, and you go in and you upload like your Vax card information and your passport, and they verify everything and make sure that all your stuff's in all lined up, so you don't forget anything. And so since you go through that process, they have a line just for that. So we got ahead of everybody in line, and boom, right through there. I mean, we even hung out in the main terminal for a little bit because we didn't know if there was anything to do in the, waiting for the plane to, take off. And, we went through security in a heartbeat. Now, we did wait in the line for a little while at customs, but it was not that big a deal. It went by fast. They basically they didn't really ask me anything. They just basically looked at me, made sure that it was my passport, stamped it, and I was on my way. I went to duty free and shopped all around and went and waited in line for food for 20 minutes and ate for 30 minutes and still had plenty of time before our flight took off. So, I think 2.5, I'd say 2.5 hours if you want to make it, fine. If you want to really get there ahead of it, maybe 3, but 2 to 3 is plenty. Don't believe that 4-hour bull unless you have a different, maybe if if your flight's at 8 in the morning or something, maybe I don't know what the difference is, but 4 hours was nuts, especially for a 4 o'clock flight. Now, flight to we had a big jumbo jet, one of those 3 seats on each end and 3 seats in the middle. First time I've been on a jumbo jet in a long time. That was from Medellin to Miami. Well, now Miami's a little different story. Now when you get in, you have to go to everything. Like I said, everything goes through Miami or Panama City to get back to wherever your destination is, unless you live in Miami, which would be great. So we have connecting flights. We got like a 3-hour layover, so we're like, we got plenty of time. Well, you got to go to baggage claim. You get your bags off of the international flight. Then you got to walk to the regular terminal, which they got signs and people telling you where to go, and they do it all the time. So it's a good deal. But so you got to you got to recheck your bags. Then you got to get to your connecting flight. But before you do that, you got to go through customs, and the customs line is long. I mean, I was happy that I got off the plane and pretty much, after we got our bags and rechecked them, we ran up into customs to get ahead of the masses. But customs was interesting. I didn't know what to think. And again, that's why I'm doing this video, is because I'm not a world traveler. I don't know what it's like going through customs. I've heard horror stories, and so it's just nice to take care of that anxiety beforehand, and don't worry about it. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, or you're not anything you're not supposed to do, you're gonna be fine. There's a few long lines to wait in, that's for sure. In the customs line, I finally got up there. One of the guys I travel with has global entry, so he got to bypass that. Another guy's TSA pre-check, so then he didn't have to really go through security. So I didn't have either. So I waited in all the lines. And then I thought that the custom agent was pretty thorough with me. I mean, she asked me who I was traveling with, where they at, how come they're not with me, and did I bring anything? And it was a few more questions than I would like, but just got to keep her cool and realize that they do this for everybody. They're just doing their job. So then after that, you got to go through security again to get into the main terminal in Miami. And that's where I ran into a little problem. I had bought booze at the duty free in Medellin, and they did not put it in a sealed duty free bag, which I had never bought duty free before, so I didn't know. Well, security flagged it, and they basically said that I had to go recheck it, and or they were gonna take it. Well, I bought it was like $150 worth of booze, so obviously I'm going to do whatever I can to keep it. Well, some nice people at American Airlines kiosk helped me out with it, and we ended up getting it taken care of. But then they had me go through security again, which really kind of sucked. But it is what it is. Instead of having a boring 3-hour layover in Miami, I had about a 25-minute layover to grab something to eat. And then we just had the regular flight from Miami to O'Hare, and that's all customary type stuff. But anyway, so that's about it. Like I said, there are some lines to wait in, but that's really about it. As long as you're not doing anything wrong and not trying to smuggle drugs in or anything like that, it's going to be fine. Keep your head about you, and I'll tell you what, visit Colombia. I'm going back soon. Loved it, and I'll get into reasons why in some future videos. Again, my name is Todd. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to, comment, like, subscribe. Talk to you soon. Happy, safe travels. Bye.